Save Nature TV, news in your pocket.
Welcome back. Well, we have an important conversation. We're discussing life balance, healthy living, and human productivity. Our guest is Ifeoma Ogbonna. She's a life coach and stress management expert. She joins us via Zoom. Good morning, Ifeoma. Trust you can hear us clearly.
To have you, Oda. Nice to be here.
Great. So let's get into the conversation for today. We're talking life balance. What exactly, in clear terms, simple terms that is, what is life balance and how important is this concept in today's world?
Okay. When we talk about life balance, most people they think of it as a 50-50% thing in life and work. But life is more than just life and work. I had a conference yesterday with some moms, and I asked them, you need to categorize your life first of all. And one most important part of your life is you, your family, your work, and maybe your spirituality. Depends on each person. So having a balance in those things is one, you fulfilling whatever those things are, fulfilling what I want as a person, fulfilling what my family wants, fulfilling what I want at work. Then the next thing you have to do is prioritize. Balance is per time. It can be when I'm young, my balance is just work and school or work and home. And when you're a mom, your balance is your kids, your husband, your work if you have to, or maybe no work. It's just be you and your family. So balance means different things to different people, but it is you being fulfilled per time. And it's very important because we see people all over the place trying to just be followers, which is not a bad thing, but you follow while knowing what you yourself you want out of life.
All right, interesting. However, I do want you to break down this concept so you know how it is. Persons who are not as aware as you are would understand. Now, you did mention something very interesting. You did mention spirituality, and we understand that man is tripartite, right? There's the emotional side, there's the spiritual side, there's the physical side. Now, in creating balance, how do you manage these aspects of life really?
Okay. Yes, like you said, as a person, I have my physical self, I have my spiritual part, I have my emotions, all this part. And if you understand that they all work together, it will help you to move forward. For example, if a child wants to have something from their parents and they go at the wrong time, you understand, when their parents are not happy, they will not get it. The same thing with the wife from the husband or the husband from the wife. So you have to see, is my mom happy, is my husband happy, then I can get what I want to get from them. So if I wake up in the morning, I have an headache, I will not be able to have fun. That's the physical part of it. If I feel as a spiritual being, I have no connection. Spirituality is all about you knowing your calling, knowing your passion. What am I called to do? What am I called to, or where am I called to serve? So you can be doing everything, but if you are not doing that thing that you're supposed to do, you're just surviving. So that's why you need to know there's a spiritual part to life. I'm not talking about going to church, which is part of it. As a Christian, I'm a Christian. I'm not talking about just reading your Bible or praying, which are part of it. I'm talking about you having a relationship with God, you knowing your call when they wake you up in the morning, knowing exactly what you want to do. That is the spiritual part of life, which you need to know. And secondly, to know that hard work is good, smart work is good, but it's God that balances things, that blesses you, and chance, like they said, happens to all of us because we have so many people that are working very hard, working very smart, and they are going nowhere. So that's the spiritual part of it. So if you understand that this spiritual part of it is there, you took out your time to come to a place of silence, a place to meditate, a place to connect and reconnect to your spiritual being, to God. And part of those things is communicating with him and being good to yourself and being good to other people around you. That gives you stability that you need. So that's the spiritual part. And the physical part that is that we are in this body, and this body needs to be taken care of. You need to take care of your teeth, your eyes, your hands, your knees. When you are growing older, you start feeling some things that depends on the way you lived your life before now. It will make your aging process faster or slower. So these different parts you need to really take care of. And we also see that mental illness, people are getting lonely, people are getting more nervous, people are getting easily irritated, angry. We see on the TV, we listen to the news, how people just wake up one morning and kill somebody that they don't like. Sometimes they don't even hate the person, they just hurt the person because they are mentally sick. They are not in themselves. So that is why we need to protect this for ourselves and for our loved ones.
All right. Let's talk about women. I know life-work balance cuts across, across both genders, though. But let's talk about women. The women, they have their jobs, they have, of course, their career parts, they have family, and then they also need to take care of their mental health, their physical health, their spiritual health. What are some tips, you being a life coach, that you can offer to women to help them juggle these multiple responsibilities?
Yeah. First of all, I'll say to them, don't forget yourself. You had a dream. When I do my boot camps, one of the first questions I ask them is, when you were younger, what were the dreams you had? What did you want to do when you were 40, when you were 50? You understand? When you were 30? Don't forget those things. It's possible that at that time, you might not be able to do those things, but don't throw them away. Don't throw them away, because those are the things that give you stability. That's number one. Number two, you have to understand that there are seasons and times in life. Right now, all over the place. I can travel, I can walk, I can do a lot of things. A few years back down the line, I could not do that. When my kids were much younger, I decided to be there for them. I decided to stay at home. I lost, in so to say, I lost money in the sense that I could not go to work to make money. But what I gained this bonding with my kids at that time. I accepted that time. That's another thing. So know that you have, as a mom, you have a season, and this is your season now. When you see another mom thriving, you have to ask yourself, how many kids does she have? Does she have a husband? Does she working from home? Does she own her own business? Is she outsourcing a lot of things? Does she have the money to do that? So don't just compare and say, oh, she also has two kids and she's doing well. You don't know the backstory. You also don't know what she does at the back, outside, behind the scenes. People, we make people see what they want to see. There's a friend and a client that I had, and she's also a coach. And sometimes she'll tell me, after coaching, after doing all these things, she gets back home and she just cries and asks questions. And people will see her and say, oh, I want to be like her. You really want to be like her? You really want to be like me? Do you know my baggage? Do you know how I manage things? So when you see people, you admire them, it's good. But know that for you, you have a season and a time. Take them per time. Then the second thing you have to do, you have to prioritize. Ask yourself, at this point in time, what is my priority? You understand? Is it my spiritual life? For me, that should always be your priority. Then yourself. I tell moms, your kids, they don't want the best mom in the whole world. They want an healthy mom. They want a mom that is there for them. I was always taking care of my kids. My elder daughter, one day she saw me, my knees were paining me. So she now said, Mommy, make an appointment by the doctor. And I said, no, I don't have time. I have to do this, I have to do this. She just stopped me, said, Mommy, do you know, if you are not well, we are not well? Because that knee pain will disturb me from doing some things. And pain can make you irritated, can make you get angry when you're not supposed to be angry, just because you're having pain somewhere. So all those things will not make you the best wife or the best partner or the best friend. So you need to prioritize yourself. You need to ask yourself, what are the things that makes me happy? What are the things that relaxes my nerves? And you start doing them. You don't need all the old money in the world. Like I say, self-care is not luxury, it's necessary. Find what that self-care is to you and do it. Then that's your big dream that you cannot do now. Find a smaller version of it. You want to be the best author, you want to write that best book. Right now you cannot write it. Be jotting them down, just be mind mapping. You understand? You want to be the best designer, take a paper and be drawing. That big dream has a small part. Start with that small part. It will keep your mind, to keep you fulfilled. If a fulfilled person is a happy person, is a rich person. This is what I would advise moms, and get the support you need. Please do join the right groups, go for coaching or mentoring. Look for an elder person that you feel is doing well or that you know is doing well, and ask them to mentor you. Ask for support. You don't have to experience all those things yourself. What maybe I experienced, you tried this way, it didn't work, you tried that way, it didn't work. So now maybe we know which way might work better. So you don't need to experience all those things yourself. You can ask somebody that has gone through that part to tell you, so that you can, jump classes and upgrade faster.
All right, we're still talking about women. So, what are three very important skills you would advise a working mom to learn and operate by? Because you did mention some things that actually need skills to be able to handle them. You mentioned prioritizing is a skill. You mentioned understanding times and seasons, which appears to be something about self-awareness, knowing yourself. Those are things that you need to learn. So what are the three most important skills you would advise a working mother to learn?
You said the most important one is knowing yourself, knowing what you can take. That's what a lot of people, but moms now, need to realize. I have to know myself. Am I a morning person? Am I a night person? If I'm not a morning person and I have kids, then I have to learn, okay, then I have to do my things the night before, so that when I get up late, I can still be on time. So you have to understand yourself. What gets me angry? What are my stressors? What are the things I would see that would just drain me? You have to know yourself. And in knowing yourself, the funny thing about ourselves is that we change per time. We change somehow. What you used to do and like before, after 1, 2, 3 years, you don't like them again. So know yourself. That's one thing you really need to do. And knowing yourself, you need to ask yourself those tough questions. Continue to ask yourself tough questions. Look for a journal, ask yourself, write some prompts and ask yourself those questions and answer them. It will help you to answer them honestly. It will help you to know yourself better. Then the second one, as a mom, time management. Time is fixed. I'm not so big on time management. At the same time, I'm big on time management in the sense that you cannot do much with time because it's 24 hours. But still, yet you can manage it. You as you put the appointment of your kids on the calendar, also put the appointment of the time you want to play with them, the time you want to have your me time, the time you want to go for that walk. Plan your time and try and stick to them. That's very important. And with time planning comes routine. Routines are things you just do all the time, and with time you do them unconsciously. With time you do them unconsciously. Then learn. As a mom, you need to learn. Seek knowledge. Anywhere you are lacking knowledge, oh God, I'm shouting on my children. Is that what it's supposed to be? Go in the internet, look for parenting groups, and ask those questions. Seek knowledge. Oh, okay. Something broke in my house. How am I going to do it? Seek knowledge. You want to redesign a room? Seek knowledge. You want to know how to speak better? Seek knowledge. You want to know how to help your kids with money? Seek knowledge. So what I would say is self awareness. Find yourself. time management, in the time and energy management, actually knowing what drains you, knowing how to manage your time, putting in routines, and seek knowledge and apply that knowledge. Those are the things I would say will help you to balance your life.
Okay, so let's get to the very big one, finance. We all know that lack of finance is a major stressor for everyone, man, woman. So, how would you advise someone going through maybe a debt or some sort of financial challenge? How would you advise them to still manage or maintain a life, work balance that, will help them to be more productive?
Okay. I have clients that come to me. I'm not a financial expert, but I say this to them: you need to take your biro and your paper and write down your income. Write down exactly how much is coming in, and then you need to cut your coat according to your material. Know that for now you have those big dreams. You want to go to this restaurant to eat. You want to buy this for your kids or whatever. Those are your dreams. What is your reality now? So you have to check. I think 2 years ago I worked with a young lady that wanted to was in debt and wanted to come into want to be free from debt and start a life. So we did this, and no matter how much you are earning, you have to work with percentage. You have to say, okay, from this amount I'm earning, I can save 1%. Even though that money is not enough, still have that point of saving 1% and things like that. But write them down and see the things that are necessary. And it's so bad sometimes that the things that are necessary, like your house, your house rent, your feeding, when you just write those two things, your money is gone. Then you ask yourself, maybe you need to change homes. Really, you need to ask yourself those questions. Maybe you need to change homes. Maybe you need to change the things you are buying, the type of things you are buying. I tell a story. There was some 15 years ago. I was with one of my neighbors that time. We'll go into the shop. We're all struggling. We'll go into the shop. I'll buy a bread that I know, okay, is good for €1, for example. And she will tell me, no, why are you buying this one for €1? This particular one is very sweet and it costs €3, but it's very sweet. And I said, I cannot. I have to take this €1 on, maybe two or three. You understand? Because it will be enough for the week. She would take the one for €3 because it's sweet. I understand. 2 days down the line, she will send her child to me to borrow bread. And I said to her, it doesn't make any sense. Right now, I can buy the bread for €3. 15 years down the line, I could not, but I was not going about begging because I cut my coat according to my material. So you have to do that. Then you have to learn how to make money. What am I good at? As simple as that. Learn what you are good at. Can I monetize it? Learn how to make money, learn how to save money. Like I said, if it's even 1% or something that you have to send, and learn how to invest in people. When I mean invest in people, people are, somebody will say you are rich when you can say to somebody, go to mama so and so, let her borrow you money. Then you're a rich person. So if you have not invested in people, if you have not been there for people, then you are poor. So after doing all these things, you have to now use affirmation and faith in God, really, because the Bible says, let the poor say I'm rich. You have to believe it, that you might not have the physical cash with you or in your bank account, but you are rich when God says it, and just to believe it makes you happy. Just believing that you are rich makes you happy. Just imagine someone I called somebody and then say, hey, my rent is about to expire next year and I'm thinking about it, and the person says to me, oh, if you don't worry, I'm going to take care of it. I say thank you. I don't have the money. Next year is not there, but I'm no more worrying that I don't have the money because somebody just said to me, I'm going to take this money. I'm going to take care of that. So that sometimes you have to tell yourself that it's going to be okay. Things are going to work out. It calms you. It's only a calm mind, a peaceful mind that is able to achieve things. So if you are struggling like that, after cutting the things you need to cut, after trying to make money the ways you need to make them, you need to use affirmations, you need to use faith in God, and your investment, which you have done with people in the form of being there for them, believe God that things are going to work out. Always be positive, no matter how difficult that situation is. And I tell you, your mindset alone will calm you down, and ideas will come of how you cope. And there's always a way out. There's always going to be a way out. Everything is going to be good at the end.
I do share in your enthusiasm, really, because everything in the end will be okay. But moving forward, let's talk about depression. Most people are going through depression and some other forms of mental health or mental illness, and they don't even know about that. Case in point, usually postpartum depression for women after childbirth. How can one know that he or she is slipping into depression, and what can he or she do to come out of it?
This not this is a problem a lot of women they go through. I think everybody that I know have gone into depression at one point or the other. And it can come from you just traveling maybe out of the country and find yourself where you don't have help, or you're having a particular problem that you cannot discuss with somebody, and you find yourself in it. Some kind of depression just comes on you, just like the one after giving birth, just comes on you, and you really just need to rely on those people around you. You really need to rely on them and say, ah, I need help. Sometimes we don't ask for help. I need help. I need someone to help me out. And you need to then, when you seek that help, you need to take care of yourself. I recently, a lady called me and said she needed to talk to me. She got married, she had a child, and less than the child is not up to 1 year. She's pregnant again, and she now said, I cannot. I find myself angry with my small child that is not at fault, and I'm angry with everybody. And why am I pregnant and things like that? What am I going to do? Those are the things women go through, because pregnancy sometimes it's as if it hinders you and things like that. And I talked to her and I said, calm your mind. What do you love to do? Go out, go outside. During depression, you always want to stay indoors. You always want to stay in a dark place. You don't want to talk to people. But as much as you can get one person to talk to, that's why many people go to coaches, because they don't want their business to be around people that they know. So I would tell those moms, please find a coach, find a pastor, find a therapist, find somebody that you can talk to, so that you can feel, okay, my secret, if it's a secret, is kept secret. But let me tell you, it's not a secret, because a lot of us are going through it. So after that, you try not to be on your own. That is why you need to learn to build a support system as a part of your life. A support system, a support community, so that when they see you, they will know something is wrong. At work, I have a friend. At home, I have my kids. At work last week, there was something that was disturbing me. And this, my friend, she knew exactly, hey, if he is a bit quiet as usual. She came to me and asked me if it was the problem. And there was something disturbing me. So you need that support team, but that support team is what you're supposed to have built to that time, because sometimes maybe you don't want to answer, you cannot talk. But when somebody comes to you that way, you are able to speak out. But don't keep yourself in the dark. Don't keep yourself alone, because it gets worse. Then, like I was also said, seek information, seek knowledge, how or look for groups of women also going through those things. But I keep saying prevention is always better than cure. You are aware that depression is real, that those things are real. So if you're a young person, you want to get married, look for information about that, ask questions already, and it will help you out. Another technique that I use is deep breathing. Sometimes you are just down, and by nature, when you are down, you do, you understand, as if you are giving up. But we use that deep breathing to give you strength. You take a position, you close your eyes, you breathe in the strength you want, the power you want, and you start releasing. When you are breathing out, you release anything, any weakness, anything draining you, you release it out. It gives you immediate support, immediate strength. You know, the last thing I will talk about is music and the environment you find yourself in. Sometimes I find myself doing it also in the past. When you are down, when you are feeling down, you just start going to play slow music, play things that will make you also continue to feel down. So in such situations, you need to go and find music that would lift up your spirit, music that will make you feel whole again. Don't go to the ones that will make you feel down and confirm your depression for you. There's some music that can confirm your depression, confirm that you are down and feeling lonely. No, look for music that will lift up your spirit and make you move your body, move your body, move your body. Go out, take a walk. Those are the things. They are so simple things, but they have a big change. They have a big change. And the last one I would say before I go is your thought patterns. The way you think affects the way you feel, and the way you feel will affect the way you act. So you have to know what is coming on in your head. The ones you need to stop, you stop it. And sometimes through affirmation, you need to put things in you. You can imagine if I'm telling myself, oh, Coach Ify, you are beautiful. Coach Ify, you are strong. I'm getting bigger. Then I'll smile, I'll laugh. Or if you give me a compliment, oh, you're strong. I feel good. Then I feel like I can carry the whole world. So that is why you need to feed your thoughts or stop some things from entering your thoughts, because it's going to affect the way you feel, and the way you feel is going to affect what you do at the end. But most importantly, please seek for help when you are in a stage whereby you can no more help yourself.
All right. From what you just mentioned, something came to my mind about self-affirmation, speaking positively to yourself and about yourself. But you do know there are some people who struggle with imposter syndrome. So how would you advise someone going through, that phase where even when he or she wants to speak to himself or herself, that's thinking tells the person, are you even kidding yourself? Do you know yourself? What have you achieved? And things like that. So how would you advise someone going through that phase or struggling with imposter syndrome to overcome that particular, stage of his or her life?
Yeah. What you have to do is that there's what they call gratitude journaling, and or your wins. Most people, they feel, I've not achieved anything. I'm not the person. Who am I to sit down there and talk to people? But you sit down, you take a pen, and you write the things that you have achieved, no matter how little, till this time. And the things that you'll be so surprised how far you have come to this time. You understand? It happens. I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book called The Double Woman Theory, and it's about being achieving it all and getting it all. And when I was writing it, it has taken me 2 years, and I'm still writing it because of this imposter syndrome. Something will come to tell me and say, listen, but are you known? Are you successful all over the place? What gives you the right to write such a book? You understand? Then I have to tell myself, it gives me the right to write such a book. One, because it's my passion. Two, because you have to start to be great. You understand? You have to start to be great. Three, I tell myself, I don't fail. When I get up to do something, even if that imposter syndrome comes, I don't fail. I only find new ways of learning. Next time, Coach Ify, you could have said A instead of saying B that you said the last time. So when you tell yourself those things, when you write the things, your wins and things you are grateful for, it gives you strength. When you allow yourself to fail, telling yourself failure is a learning point and is a growth point, it will help you to continue. Then to practice whatever you are doing, practice in a small way till you get there. Give yourself grace. I'm always very gracious to myself. Give yourself grace and give yourself space to grow, no matter how little. Give yourself that permission to grow. And of course, even the imposter syndrome problem, affirmation can help you before you go out to speak. Tell yourself, hey, Ify, you're beautiful. Ify, you're going to sit down, you're going to talk, you're going to speak clearly. The things that you need will come to your mind. Just that's the part you can do. There's some things you cannot control, but the part you can control, you do that. You say those things to yourself. And if you are there in front of people, or if you are there giving that lecture, if you are there, whatever you need to do, and at that moment you feel lost, take a breath, take a second to get back to yourself. Remember that affirmation, and I'm telling you, you receive strength, and in that strength and calmness, you receive ideas to continue. That's what I would advise.
And here's my advice to you. This is the topic for your second book, Permission to Grow. I got that one.
I take
All right.
that.
So
I
for
take
someone
that. Thank you
who,
so
because you
much.
did speak on finance or lack of it as a stressor, what about people who are in an abusive relationship or marriage, or people who work in, very toxic environments? They have to, cope with these environments because there's invariably nothing they can do about it. But how would you advise they manage such environments such that it doesn't affect, their mental health or even their physical health?
Oh, you have to, it goes back to you knowing yourself, knowing what you can really manage. Because sometimes people will say we can manage something, but we are dying slowly. And that's the problem. And guess what? You only have one life to live, one single life, and one chance at life. When you die, it's not like those games we play and you say, okay, one life is down, two more lives to go. No, you only have one life at living, and you have to give it your best. But guess what? If your best is not good enough for that working environment, if your best is not good enough for that your marriage, you have to have a plan. And I'm not talking about, oh, my husband is talking anyhow. Oh, my working place are behaving anyhow. I'm talking about real toxic, be it emotional, be it physical, be it financial, really toxic. So I'm not talking to those people that just give up on their marriages or give up on their work. No, but if you're in that situation, get help. And in getting help, you have to start having a plan to transit. You understand? If, for example, let's use the working environment, because I love marriage so much, and I don't encourage people. I myself, I'm no more in marriage, so I don't want to encourage people to leave marriage. You understand? Although in some situation, a business situation, it has to be, but you have to have a plan. So let me just use the work. So if you're at a working place whereby that is what is paying your bill, and if you resign, it's going to, you not have where to stay. You have to first of all tell yourself, what can I control? You cannot control some kind of people, but I'm telling you, you can control yourself to an extent. So look at the part of yourself you can control, how to avoid the person, how to avoid the situation and things like that. Then in the meantime, have a plan. How can I leave this work? What can I do? Do I need new skills to leave? Do I start writing job, looking for jobs and things like that? Have a plan. You understand? Just, you're going to be there, but you have a plan to leave, because there are some things your body can take. There are some things your body can take. In marriage, in situations, you just see somebody just tell you one word, and that word will just trigger every other thing that has taken place. And there'll be somebody who asks, is it just that one thing that they said to him? Is it just one thing that they said to her? No, it's the accumulation of every single thing. So people that say I'm strong, know your limit, really. Know your limit and know when it's getting to you. Because what stress does to you is that it affects the way you think. It affects the way you talk. It affects your brain. You start forgetting things. It affects your blood pressure, a lot of things. Your immune system, you start falling sick all the time. You don't know, it's from that stress. At work, you start missing out at work. It's from that stress. So sometimes you feel you are managing it well, but guess what? You are not. So in the point whereby you cannot manage it well, the point whereby you cannot let them be and you be, because that's one of the way you can manage it. Let people be them. Don't try to change them, but you will be you. And in some marriages, when women, talking about women now, let their husbands be their husbands. let them be how they want to be, they are not allowed to now be what they want to be, and that's where the problem comes in. You understand? So that's the first thing you try. After that, if that is not working, find an exit plan. Little by little, you get out of it, because like I said, you can always go back to it. Like, you can always go back to your marriage, you can always go back to that work, if you have seen that maybe to work back. But most importantly, you have only one chance at life, and you really need to take care of yourself, because stress does not come, it doesn't come big at you. It comes in different what word
Subtle
is
ways.
eating. Yeah, it's always eating. It doesn't, it's not always loud, it's eating. And the one that kills is not the acute stress, it's the chronic stress. It's the chronic stress that kills. And you have one chance at life, so, and it's your call. Nobody will tell you leave that work, leave that marriage, leave, stop that friendship. There's some friendship we have that we're supposed to have long stopped. Nobody will tell you. It's a decision that you have to make. It's your call.
Oh, very interesting. But before we let you go, I'm sure you must have come across this phrase, the pursuit of happiness. My question to you is this a mirage? What should people aim to achieve in life in terms of balance? Because it seems as though the more you pursue wealth, the more you pursue happiness, it keeps eluding you. So what should be the target for people just to stay, balanced, and probably die happy? What are your thoughts?
I would say prepare to die and plan to live. That is one thing that will come. One of my speakers yesterday, she's a doctor. She said she went to a retire home. She's less than 40, so she just went to this retire people's conference, something like that. And they were now talking, and some of them talked about how they became very sick after they retired and everything. So they did not enjoy. They did not enjoy the money they made. They worked for, woke up every morning and did. So I would say you prepare to die, because that is something we owe, but plan to live, plan to be alive. And in that is depends on your everyday lifestyle. Create a lifestyle, create a rich lifestyle for you, and not rich in money, but full with life. Enjoy every moment. Celebrate the little things of life. There's one post I send out every morning, and it's thank God for the gift of one more day. I send it every morning, and that makes me enjoy every moment. So I'll tell you, enjoy every moment. Prepare to die, because death will come. So anything that you need to do, then plan to live. And that life is can be one day, can be 10 years. So plan it, but know that death will come. And if you know that tomorrow I'm going to die, you will not you will not keep some money, you will not be angry with some people, you understand? So to get that balance of you preparing to die and planning to live, that balance is what you need to live a a balanced life. That's you preparing to die and planning to live and enjoying every moment. I think that's what you need to live a fulfilled life. Fulfilled life.
Thank you so much, Coach Ify. So, this is my takeaway personally. You prepare to die, you plan to live, and you practice gratitude.
Yeah.
Am I close to the truth?
You did well. That's great.
All right. Thank you so much for your time and your insights. We would love to have you back some other time. Thank you for now.
I'll be honored. Thank you.
All right, don't go anywhere. Inside Health continues with Political Circle with Luke Mbo. Don't go anywhere. Don't forget, I'm Chigi Chiagoram, goodbye from Signature TV Enugu Studios. Thank you for joining us.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow